Hey everybody, Cookies here. We're just gonna do this in one take. I haven't really prepared anything for this, but this is my overview of healing Orgozoa on Mythic difficulty. This will be covering mostly footage as a Resto Druid, but this can apply to any healers, so we're just gonna kind of go through the clip here and kind of talk about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So here we have the first thing I'll describe really quick before we go into this poll is we have a lot of damage for this fight. Like we're phasing it incredibly quickly, and the way we're doing this is we are having all the raiders pre-spread in the room. Like all the ranged DPS and healers are just already standing in their spots that they need to be in. So we never do the usual like stack up in the middle of the room strategy, just because it's unnecessary with the amount of gear that we have now as a guild, and even for a progression fight, like the amount of HP and gear you have compared to guilds that killed this, months ago or a month ago. It's significantly easier to just spread out, do lots of extra damage, and just have a little bit of a harder healing check. And to be fair, most guilds 5 heal this, we're 4 healing it with the spread out strategy. So if you're having DPS problems and you feel like the healers are confident enough to do this, or you don't have like 3 Resto Shamans and 2 Resto Druids as your healing comp, because they would obviously suffer from this kind of stuff, I would recommend just having your group spread out and DPS the boss and just stand in their places, and then all you have to do is just find where the melee move when they get Arcane Current on them. So going into the poll, I use up a lot of mana here. I only cast like 2 Wraths and dot the boss, and then I'm pretty much just you're going to see me hotting up the raid here pretty shortly, and this is because I want to just start draining my mana, because the other healers are going to do significantly more damage than me. Like, for instance, our Resto Shaman, our Holy Priest, our Holy Paladin. They can all do way more damage than I can in the first minute of the fight with Lust. So I just start going ham, and I drain my mana to about 90%, and then I pop my Memory of Lucid Dreams, my Essence, immediately, just so I can get that on cooldown as fast as possible, because the more uses equals more mana. And then here, essentially the strategy that's going to happen, also I get my Innervate out. So it's essentially get to 90% mana, pop Memory of Lucid Dreams, keep using up mana, get to 85% mana, and pop Innervate. Because anytime you're below or at 85% mana, you can use an Innervate without wasting mana. So I just use my Innervate and my Memory of Lucid Dreams as soon as I possibly can without wasting mana. Therefore, kind of allowing my other healers to slack off and just do damage to the boss for this first minute. This is where they start picking it up. And it just, overall, I don't lose anything from it, because it's a good thing that I'm putting my cooldowns on. So this is the next thing I'm going to talk about, is the way you're going to heal this fight as a Resto Druid in order to maintain mana and do a lot of healing output while healing the right targets, essentially. Is anybody who gets this incubation fluid debuff, you're just going to keep a rejuvenation on them, and then you're going to, once you have like at least 4 rejuvenations out on the raid, you're going to be using regrowth. As long as you're running the abundance talent, which I wouldn't see why you would run Cenarian Word in this fight, so run abundance. And then all you do is you're just hotting up the players with incubation fluid with rejuvenation, and then you're just spamming regrowth. So all you're doing, this was a really bad drink on my part, but anyways, essentially all you're doing is just pumping heals into the players with incubation fluid, and for the most part ignoring the rest of the raid. So see, you can see here I'm putting rejuvenations out, regrowth on them, and then regrowth on them, like just over and over and over. And the other thing we're doing here is we are running the photosynthesis talent, which is our last tier talent as a Resto Druid, and it makes it to where whenever I have Life Bloom on myself, it is going to do, it's going to make all my other hots do increased healing. So see here, I have it off for a little while, but there I put it back on. So essentially all you want to do is maintain Life Bloom on yourself, and then you're just rinse and repeating this strategy. Just rejuvenation until you have about 6 rejuvenations out, 4 to 6, anywhere between there. And then you're just spamming regrowths on the people who don't actively have regrowth on them yet, that have incubation fluid. So that's really all you're doing. And you're seeing that my mana here is going crazy low for how like high health the boss still is, but I still have we still have the phase that happens here shortly. So all we're trying to do is survive this, and then you'll see as soon as we phase transition, we make it down to the bottom, and I'll have like a lot more mana to go through. I do, however, end up running out of mana towards the end of this fight, but that was just me not managing my mana properly. Like up till here, I should have a little bit more than 0, essentially. We also did this fight with 19 people at the phase 2, so that was unfortunate, but we did end up killing it anyways. So yeah, that's how you can see I'm doing 70k HPS, not too bad for a Resto Druid. Could be more, could be whatever. We don't have any Ret Paladins or anything, so really unfortunate that we don't get any Blessing of Wisdoms. But yeah, that's how you heal phase 1, and honestly, phase 1 is the only real difficult part of this fight if you're a healer or a DPS. Phase 2 is really just kill the boss before it kills you. We had a really close call with this poll that you'll see, and that's just because, again, we had 19 people and one of our warriors was dead, and he's obviously a big execute class. So in this phase, I actually waste a lot of mana. I shouldn't be hotting people up as far as I'm concerned, because these hots just time out without any of these people taking damage to begin with. So here you should just be full DPSing the boss just with Solar Wrath. I think the reason I was hotting people up actually is because usually the ads up above, they will follow you downstairs and do some AoE damage to the raid, but we ended up skipping them, which we didn't expect. So that might be a reason, but either way, like you can see me hotting up a bunch of people here, and it's not very useful. Here's where it would actually be useful by now. So, but a lot of those hots got wasted. But you can see here, like I was 0 mana when I came down here. I'm now at 50% mana. So if I just played phase 2 a little bit better, I wouldn't be at the end of the fight. So here it's the exact same thing. You are keeping hots on the players with incubation fluid. Luckily, I get incubation fluid here, which as a Resto Druid running photosynthesis, you want incubation fluid on you, like at the very start of the fight, because you're keeping life bloom on yourself all the time. So when you have incubation fluid on yourself right at the beginning, that life bloom's getting such good effects off of healing you because you're constantly taking ticking damage. And the life bloom kind of just solo carries the healing that you need, which is awesome. So that will contribute to like, you know, high parse or anything if you want to go for something like that. But here we're just using our cooldowns. We didn't really have anything structured, unfortunately, which that's something I would recommend to other guilds as well, is structure healing cooldowns for down here, or at least save most of them till the very end, because it actually does get really hectic. We didn't expect it to get so hectic. Again, we're like 19 manning it, but you can see here I'm doing the exact same thing I was doing upstairs. Rejuvenation the people with incubation fluid, and then start casting regrowth when I don't have rejuvenations to put out, or once I have a certain amount of rejuves out. I mean, that's pretty much healing this fight in a nutshell. So, and of course, using wild growth as much as possible if there's more than like 5 people injured in the raid. That's just a general rule. Wild growth is an amazing spell. Will always hard carry healing. It looks like my frames are lagging really badly here, so I apologize for that. But here you can see it towards the end. Still lagging. Here we're just trying to kind of pump damage because I'm out of mana. I should be popping Memory of Lucid Dreams here and starting. And another mistake we made is we didn't call for the Holy Priest Symbol of Hope. Also don't health pot here, but that's all beside the point. So yeah, as a Resto Druid, you don't have to worry too much about conserving your mana. Just use a lot of keep rejuvenations refreshed on all the people with incubation fluid, and then once you have about 4 to 6 rejuvenations active, start utilizing abundance by just spam casting regrowth on people who do not have the regrowth hot active. You want to make sure you're not just like spamming regrowth over and over into one person, because that doesn't really do anything. You want to hit every single person with incubation fluid, and then by the time that you cast a couple of regrowths, you'll need to cast a couple of rejuves. And you cast a couple of rejuves, you cast a couple of regrowths, so and so and so. It just keeps going on like that. So that's Orgozoa. That's how you essentially pump as a Resto Druid and make really good use of your healing effects and whatnot. So hope that wasn't too fast paced. I know I was talking super fast throughout the whole video, but it's a lot of information on this fight as like a healer type fight. So hopefully this video helps, and I'll have a Queen's Court video very, very soon as we kill that. So if you would like to see any specific types of videos or other healers content, or if you want to see, I was thinking about doing some balanced druid content. If any of that stuff interests you, please let me know down in the comments like what you want to see. if you just tell me the content that you would like to see regarding healing or generally PvE content in World of Warcraft, let me know. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Okay, thanks. Bye.